Okay, cue the speculation. The New York Rangers have been one of the most disappointing teams in the National Hockey League this season. A team that was supposed to be led into the Metro playoffs with their brand new captain JT Miller finds themselves literally in the last place spot in the East. And if you take a look at the NHL in its entirety, only 3 teams have fewer points than the New York Rangers this year. And one of them has a game in hand. So with that said, the New York Rangers could be on the cusp of change, and they could be on the cusp of totally changing the way their franchise projects. Case in point, today we're talking about one of the names that was supposed to be a key contributor to the Rangers potentially going to the promised land and winning a Stanley Cup. Igor Shesterkin in net. But the problem is, it's the fact that Igor Shesterkin hasn't really been a problem. In fact, he's been pretty alright this season. He's got a .911 save percentage and a .253 goals against average. That's right in line with some of the other seasons he has had, wherein he was able to make the playoffs with the New York Rangers. It's better than what he did last year. A .905 save percentage in 61 games played. The difference? The Rangers were better last year than they have been this year, and Igor Shesterkin's numbers have surprisingly gotten better. There's a reason this guy is making $11.5 million a year, and there's a reason this contract goes on till 2033. Goaltenders are always a gamble, and long-term, it's difficult to project whether or not you have a Sergei Bobrovsky who craps the bed for the first few years of his 8-figure deal, only to inevitably win back-to-back Stanley Cups, or if you have a guy like Igor Shesterkin, who is just so consistent all the time and who gives you so many ways to win hockey games. But the problem is, the Rangers don't win hockey games. So, let's dive into what this team could look like and how things could shake up in regards to Igor Shesterkin. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going over what Vince Z. Mercogliano said on Flying V earlier yesterday. This tweet was posted by Nick Dumoulin. Vince said, "I talked to a source from another team who told me they firmly believe that the Ottawa Senators' interest in Shesterkin is very real. If there is ever an inkling that New York is going to trade Igor, you gotta think the Senators are going to be involved." Vince also mentioned earlier that he was told from a couple of people to keep an eye on Team Russia connections for the Ottawa Senators, including Artyom Zub, who thinks he is going to have a very active role in trying to maybe sell guys on this Sens team being a good situation. Now that is very, very interesting, hearing that you have a man on the inside that could potentially influence the way some of these other Russian athletes can be looking at Ottawa and their situation. Artyom Zub is a really interesting name. He is 30 years old. He has been a Sen through and through. He's played the past few years of his NHL career all in Ottawa. And when you think about what the Sens have been able to accomplish this season, we talk about the Rangers being bad. Well, Ottawa's doing a lot better. They are a top 10 team in the National Hockey League with 94 points in 79 games played. Take a look at the wildcard race. They are in the last wildcard spot. It's kind of ridiculous. They're 10th overall in the National Hockey League, yet they are in the final wildcard spot. Like, when you think about it, it doesn't make any sense. They are one of the best 10 teams, but still, they're having trouble holding on to and clinching a playoff berth. But either way, you can look at the standings and be like, wait a minute, this team's actually doing a lot better than the last place wildcard team would imply based off of that ranking. And Artyom Zub has all the ammo in the world to go out there and say to other Russian athletes, hey, it's actually pretty good over here in Ottawa. We've got some good scorers, we've got good talent, our D is incredible. I mean, the defense and just the amount of guys that have stepped in and made a significant impact on the blue line with the Ottawa Senators, all the injuries, they don't seem to be slowing this team down. They still got guys stepping in there, filling in minutes. Tyler Klevin is amazing. You have Thomas Chabot, who came back, miraculously came back. You have Jake Sanderson, who obviously has missed time as well, but he is so talented. And then everybody else in between, too. Carter Yakimchuk was a crazy story. Jordan Spence was playing all these minutes. There are so many positives with the Ottawa Senators and their D-corps. And you could probably say that in itself is the biggest sell for any goaltender who could potentially be enticed to head over to Ottawa. Hey, Igor, we've got 5, 6 super good defensemen that can come in here and play with some momentum. They can do their job well. They can defend the crease well. Igor's having a pretty good year, save percentage-wise. Sure, it's not the .935 that he had back in 2022, which allowed him to win the Vezina Trophy, but he still had a really good year relative to the rest of the National Hockey League back in 2025-2026, when his team was so bad, they were one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League, but still. You're going out there and taking a look at a guy who is one of the top goaltenders in save percentage this season. He's right there, tied for 6th overall with Devin Cooley of all people, which is quite interesting. So for Igor Shesterkin, there is an opportunity for Ottawa, because this is a team that has had some really crap goaltending throughout the course of the season too. Linus Ullmark can't stop a beach ball, and when he does, he ends up not being available because of whatever reasons he has gotten. 48 games played this season, not really a pure number one starter. Levi Merilainen has only played games because there have been no other options. He's at an .860 this season, and James Reimer got brought in to try to calm things down with Levi's terrible play. Reimer is at an .883 himself. So needless to say, with all the talent there is up front, with the Ottawa Senators and the point production they are getting, this right here at net, absolutely unacceptable, especially for a team that happens to be top 10 in the NHL in overall points. If they just had normal freaking goaltending, 900 caliber goaltending for the majority of the year, they wouldn't be a top 10 team in the NHL. They'd probably be like a top 5. The Ottawa Senators are a strong team, and Igor Shesterkin, if him and his $11.5 million AAV cap hit ever gets on the books, we've got reports now saying that Ottawa's interest is very real, and the Sens are going to be involved. So, with all that said, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If it's like Shesterkin for, let's just say, Linus Ullmark, you got to get the starter for the starter just to make it balanced, equally balanced as all things should be. Also, Linus is making $825 million a year till the end of 2029, so it's a lesser term than Igor Shesterkin. It's a lesser dollar amount as well, but still, $8.2 million for a guy that this season has an .889 save percentage, that's terrible. Like, you do not want to have your goaltender save percentage and his AAV anywhere close to each other. .825 AAV, .889 save percentage. If they start with the same number, it's probably not a good sign, unless that number is 9. Igor Shesterkin's 11.5. He's doing pretty well. I think the number is justified here when you consider how bad the New York Rangers are. But if you're a Sens fan thinking about what this could potentially look like, I'll tell you this right here. The Sens have a decent amount of cap space, 2-point-something million. They have some names they have to re-sign, but who knows how much they are going to be. Claude Giroux, I don't think he goes for a super high dollar amount. Same with Lars Eller. Then you probably think about trading away that contract if you want to get Igor onto your team. Linus Ullmark, plus a bunch of other stuff for Igor Shesterkin. That's probably the way that Ottawa wants to go if they think about pulling off a trade like this. But either way, if you're a Sens fan, a Rangers fan, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the possibility of an Igor Shesterkin trade to Ottawa? Is this possible? Is it not? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99. And bye.